Welcome again on another episode of our Community Fridays at Earthy Tales live sessions. For the new listeners, Jasneet, let me tell you, Jasneet Kaur is a certified coach in nutrition and change psychology, and she's also a habit building coach, yeah, and a weight loss coach. So all those our friends who are logged in and they want to have their individual sessions with Jasneet, they can connect with her. We will be soon at the end of the video, we'll be putting up her details as well. And while, of course, we talk on various sessions, various topics with Jasneet on relating to the good health and so forth. Welcome, Jasneet, to the show.
Thank you, Narinder. And if I may add, those listeners who are joining in. So today, of course, we'll delve into today's topic. But as Narinder was introducing me, I also want to make a point that the company that I run is called habitsOverDiets.com. So it's totally habit-based approach, and I work with helping you develop a healthier mindset towards your food, your movement, and managing stress in everyday life. So the approach that I follow is totally habit-based and not diet plan or putting simply advising on what to
that's
do
why,
and what not to. So yeah, just wanted to add that.
Over diet.
Thank you.
Correct. Good.
Yes.
The topic for today's conversation that we're going to have today is very, very interesting, which is how to survive weddings and parties without weight gain. So the season has started, weddings by the dozen, and parties by the hundreds. So there's an invite almost every day, either for a party or for a wedding. This is going to be the session day, for us. So, the wedding season is time for sweets, and eating and hogging actually. Should we actually decide how many sweets we can have in a day or in a party? Do we put a number to it?
Okay. Narinder, I would say, it would depend on the person who's asking the question. If they think that they can stick to a number that they decide for themselves, then sure, set a number. Because if you're someone who simply needs a number in your head and you will do whatever it takes to stick to that number, then put a number. Okay, if that's what works for you. But at the end of the day, I would say that sweets aren't inherently bad foods. Sugar, yes, it's one of the foods we least need, but it's not inherently bad. It is the way we eat and the overconsumption and our lack of knowing why we are eating sugar or why we're eating sweets, which leads to problems. So more than putting a number, of course, go ahead, put a number, but I think putting a number doesn't really help most people. What helps is for them to be more self-aware of why they're eating the sweet and building an environment around them wherein sweets are not lying around them, khule mein, all the time visible, tempting them to be eaten. So really, strengthening your immediate environment, whether it's in your kitchen, your pantry, jo mithai shaadi se aa rahi hai ghar pe, how long you're displaying it in the house, and all of that goes a much longer way. But if a number works for you, keep a number and stick
if
with
we
it.
were to rule out the number game, what is your suggestion? How do we, manage our, especially these 2 months?
Yeah, manage the sweet intake of sweet food.
weight gain actually.
Yes. Okay. So
weight gain.
Weight gain while eating sweet foods. Okay, awesome. So I think it goes back to the basics. Three tips that I will leave the audience with today. number one, before you pick up a sweet food, before you pick up any food, especially if it is a sweet or a pretty like a fried food, even if it's a samosa, right? Something which is calorie dense, take a moment to ask yourself how you want to feel at the end of eating that food. Check in with yourself why you want to eat that food. And many times the answer will be because everyone's eating it. It has nothing to do with you needing it or desiring it, but sab kha rahe hain, right? Many times, and that's also a valid answer. Many times the answer will be because, it's lying around and you're feeling bored, so you're picking it up and eating it. That's also a valid answer. And sometimes the answer may be that you have nothing better to do, and Netflix pe you're not getting your favorite show, or you're watching some other people eating it, so you're eating it because of that. But just a moment of check-in will help you become aware that you are reaching for a calorie dense food, and you are more likely to put it in the sphere of your conscious awareness कि आप कुछ खा रहे हैं, rather than चलते फिरते बातें करते करते when we eat, and we don't take it into our cognizance. Many times the answer as to why you're eating may be because you love that particular food, or you love that motichur ka laddu, or you love that rasmalai, and that's amazing, that's great, right? That's valid too. After you've eaten the food, can you check in and ask yourself, how are you feeling? Did you get the feeling that you desired from that food? Right? So this little check and balance, if you can build into every time you eat a food, especially a food which is dense in energy, then it goes a long way in building your self-awareness. And many times, as you keep practicing this, you will see yourself, checking again, ki main kyun kha rahi hu, and then realizing, okay, I don't really need this food. I'll pass. So that builds over time. The second tip will be to eat slowly and savor the food that you're eating. Be more attentive, right, in the eating process. Eat it with full attention and gratitude, and a feeling of thankfulness for the food. The third will be to strengthen your physical environment around the food. This is the time when sweets and fried foods are all around us, but the problem starts when they're around us for much longer than they need to be, right? So when you purchase something from the market, purchase in smaller quantities rather than 1 kilo, 2 kilo ikattha le liya. Purchase in smaller quantities so that it gets finished faster. Before you replenish it, ask yourself how much you need. If you have mithai coming from neighbors or friends into your house, see if you really like it. Keep a little bit, distribute the rest, because the more things lie around you, the more likely you are to pick them up and just put them into your mouth in a moment of boredom. So that would be the 3 tips that I would leave you to, to consciously have a better relationship with these
foods. So you say that
there
is a peer pressure for eating also. I think so. Absolutely. Yeah, if somebody's eating, then you are tempted to basically pick it up and try to. True. So
yes,
when I'm eating in the parties or the weddings, and I try, looking at and consciously, judging myself in the sense that, okay, fine, am I doing the right thing? Is this good enough for me? Or little lesser is also fair enough. I can do good with it. But if I ignore that, if I tend to ignore that, and overeat,
yes,
which usually happens, these days it will happen. I mean,
yes,
as much as you try not to, but it happens. Then
yes,
checking the weigh balance, the weighing machine early in the morning is too much to ask for. It's not good. What do I do? I mean, is there a way? Do I need to burn that extra fat? I mean, the extra calories. What do I do?
Sure. Great question, Narinder. And I think this is the this is the thing, and this equating like all our food with how it's adding up to our weight and overall, while some having some control, having some sense of control around our weight is great. But then after many people have a habit, especially women, of checking their weight every day, and especially after they have eaten out the previous night. So that habit can be pretty debilitating, because when you have eaten out late at night, you have eaten, calorie dense food, energy dense food, and you've most probably not stuck to your regular dinner time. You've had probably a delayed dinner, right? You've also had more salt than normal, right? And you've also perhaps drank less water than normal. This all combines when we are eating out. Now, all of this combined, what happens is that the next morning, what you may see a weight increase by 1 kilo or maybe 2 kilos or maybe more, right? But the thing to note is that there is a difference between weight gain and weight fluctuation. It is normal for your body to retain more water and throw up a higher weight on the weighing scale the next day. That does not mean that you've suddenly overnight put on 2 kilos of weight. It simply means that your body has perhaps retained more water thanks to your previous night dinner, which was out of the ordinary. So number one, I think most people, most women especially, have a tendency to psych themselves about the weighing scale. So relax, right? And try not to weigh yourself the next day, because if you don't know how to handle it, or if you don't know how to read the numbers. Second, if you can, handle it, then continue to weigh yourself every day, because what happens is that if you come back to your regular behaviors the next day, not extraordinary behaviors, but regular behaviors, then you notice that your weight comes back to normal over a period of a few days. So that is important to note, that weight fluctuation and weight gain is different. Fluctuation is going up and down and then settling back. Weight gain is when it goes up and stays there. Most likely, if people return back to their regular behaviors, the weight goes up and then goes down again. It was simply a fluctuation. I would also, Narendra, I have some tips around when you're at the wedding or when you're at the party venue, how to handle, food, and how to handle, picking up the snacks and, items that are available on the buffet table.
Yeah, so sure. In fact, I was going to ask
you
to
get into
how
that?
How to say no to
sure.
the food at the party. So, yes, you read my mind.
Got it. So how to say no is a very interesting question. And the thing is, there is no, let me first answer this. I don't think there is any special way of saying no, except meaning your no. And, except sticking to your no. So the thing is that human beings are very resistant to having difficult conversations, right? Saying no to a friend or a family member or a loved one is a difficult conversation, and we generally avoid difficult conversations. So we'd rather oblige them by eating more, right? So here I would ask you to lean into the discomfort of the conversation, because as you are trying to gain more awareness and more consciousness, you will know that you will see that if you keep listening to other people and how they want you to eat and act, you will build a body that it'll be difficult to feel, proud of over a long period of time, right? So you have to draw your boundaries, and you have to lean into the discomfort of a conversation in which you disagree and you say no. And my simple tip here is to keep repeating the no. And even a simple no thanks is great. We don't have to justify why we don't want another serving of jalebi, or why we don't want another drink. No thanks. So if the person says again say no thanks. Again say no thanks. And at some point it's going to get very odd, and that's exactly what you should expect it to be. But once you've done this a few times, you will build a reputation of a person whose no means no. And people would rather not get into that kind of a conversation with you. So that would be my tip for saying no. coming back to the party, handling the actual party and the wedding. And, this is very interesting because Narendra, I have spent the last 3 weeks attending close, cousins' weddings in Patiala. So I'm I'm bursting with tips and tricks because I've been in the middle of action and, the wedding sangeet and jago and, shadi and reception and
So you've
been
had the
through about
weight
9
fluctuations and
functions
not
in
the
the
weight
last
gains,
3 weeks.
right?
So,
So you've had the weight fluctuations and not the
sorry?
gains, right? Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, 100%. Yes. So I would say, your preparation for any party or a wedding starts, the day starts in the morning, not in the night. So from the morning, start, becoming a little aware that you're going to eat out at night or you have a party at night, right? So try and keep your morning meals a little light. And how do you keep them light? You add more vegetables, you add more salad, you have more soup, you have more proteins rich food in the first part of the day. That would be my tip number 1. Tip number 2, before you enter the party, try not to enter on an empty stomach. Okay, it is a recipe for disaster to enter any party or a dinner or a function on a completely empty stomach, because you will reach out for the most energy dense food out there, and you will grab it very, very hungrily, and you will eat it very fast, right? So try to have a good snack, ideally a good protein rich snack, thoda chana kha liya, ya have some little meal before you enter the party, so that you have a little more sane around the different foods, and you are able to control your hunger and your cravings better, right? So that would be there. And when you're at the party, especially with snacks, what I see is that जैसे वो snacks की एक plate आती है, एक में पनीर टिक्का आ गया, एक में गोभी का कुछ आ गया, एक में कोई fritter आ गया. So what happens is that people are having a conversation and they just, okay, here's the snack, okay, let me just put it, eat it. So there is no self conversation or any like moment of awareness that people have as to why am I eating this snack. So I would say that in general, within half an hour, most of the waiters have been past you, and overall kya snacks available hai. Then you choose what you want to eat amongst those, what you think is rare, what you think you love, and pick up that. Don't pick up mindlessly while you're inside conversations. Have a little bit of a plan what you want to eat and eat those snacks, right? Because and which is why usually in parties and in weddings, through the snacks we've had our fill, but then we just eat dinner because dinner to khana hi hai, right? So you can avoid that by using this tip. Coming to the main course, what I've seen is that in general, and I've been observing a lot of people in the last few weeks in the functions that I was attending, people generally just pick up a plate at the beginning of the buffet menu and they start serving themselves, as they walk by. Now, I would suggest an alternative here, which is that don't just pick up your plate first. First, go and take a round of the entire menu, entire buffet. You will get more steps, okay? You will also get to know what there is to eat, and you can choose what you want to really indulge in that day. Because kya hota hai, we if we don't do that, then we could likely have filled up our plate with lots of stuff that we just that is not a favorite, only to come to the end and find 2 dishes that are our absolute favorite, and then we heap our plate with those as well. So do a recce and decide, instead of saying I'm going to eat a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this, choose 2 or 3 dishes that you really like and enjoy and stick with those 2 or 3. When we chachofy a lot, that's where things get messy. So pick up 2 or 3 favorite dishes, stick with them. If you think there is something in dessert which you really love, or if there are 2 desserts that you really love, then you may decide to skip the main course and straight away go into the dessert, right? So decide, right? Decide. You don't have to eat everything simply because it's there, right? Go with more consciousness into these buffets. And these days, what I'm seeing a change over from the last say 5 or 10 years is that people are more health conscious. I've generally found, and I belong to Punjab, and we are the most like hospitable people, as you know, right? So, but I'm seeing in general there's a lack of pushiness. If you are okay with what you have on your plate, generally I feel people are more accepting of others' choices. And I noticed that, at least in my family and the functions that I attended. Another thing that I would suggest is that don't sit very close to the snack table, if especially at parties. The more you're sitting right next to the snack table, the more you'll pick up stuff and keep eating and nibbling without paying attention. So sit far away from the snack table and let it be a few minutes walk to get there, so that those few seconds give you some time to think that why you're going there and what you want to eat.
Okay. So what you're saying is maintain social distancing from the area of where the food is served, okay? And take a round, observe.
That's a good one. Yes.
Right? And after observing, then make a sane decision on what to eat and what not to eat or what to avoid. Okay. But वो नहीं करना है कि सगन दिया तो खाना खाना ही है.
My question there is, shagan diya to khana khana hi, great.
Yes.
How is it working for you? If it's working for you, well, you don't have to change a thing, right?
Yeah. Okay. Very awkward question maybe. Should we also work on managing the invitations to parties? See, parties, invitations to आएंगे, 10 आएंगे, 15 आएंगे, 20
yeah.
You'll get a lot of invitations. So, should we also, condition our mind in managing the invitations, or go with the flow? Any thoughts on that?
So, you're talking. Okay. I can share what works for me, right? What I've found is that when you're in your 20s and 30s, then literally anything goes, right? आप रोज बाहर खाएंगे भी early 30s तक, तो चल जाएगा, right? But as you go past your mid 30s, for many people, as you hit 30s, you have to start unless you start being more conscious and aware of the number of times that you're eating out, then it's going to show up in your health parameters, and it's going to show up in the the way you look and feel and perform. So what I like to do is to have kind of like apply, okay, I'm not going to use any jargon here, but really look at the close relationships you have, the people who really count, in your life, and make sure to definitely show up there, right? For others, if you're someone who receives 6 or 7 invitations in 1 week, that means 6 or 7 meals being eaten outside. So then you have to decide which ones I will totally accept and be a part of for the entire function, which ones I will perhaps say I will refuse kindly, but I will make up in other ways, because at the end of the day, it's not just your showing up, but how you overall connect with that person and how you manage that relationship, not just by showing up there, right? And in some, you could decide to make a presence, but for a short while, and have your dinner or have your main meal at your home, right? So I would think that unless you prioritize these things, then again, what are your boundaries, right? What is it that works for you? And I don't think you can please everyone all the time. So goes back to drawing firmer boundaries, having those uncomfortable.
So basically, you can also time yourself for going to the parties where you really don't want to spend the entire evening and keep eating. So time yourself, go at a time when you will show up, have a little bit, nibble a little, and then come back. So
yes, because somewhere, if you're going to be eating out 2 times in a week out of say 21 meals that you have in a week, then that's about 10% of your meals being eaten out. If you're eating 3 times, then that's about more than that, and then it keeps increasing. So how much is it? I would say that up to 3 meals eaten out, you can manage in regular life. When it gets more than that, then it has to show up somewhere, right? So then it's a matter of priorities, right?
Okay.
What really counts
So,
right
so
now.
which means if we follow your tips, there will be weight fluctuation, but there will be no weight gain.
Yes, I would imagine so. And but you have to test it out, right? You have to test it out and see for yourself. But in general, yes, if you follow these tips, then weight is likely to fluctuate, but you're not going to put
True.
on a few
So best
kilos just
is
because you
not to
ate
check
out.
your weight the very next day, because it will show up and you will feel,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. I think that is, yes, yes. The next day, get back to regular exercise, your regular routine. And
True.
I'm assuming your regular routine includes exercise, but get back to your regular routine. I think another thing that we see, Narinder, as you talking about this, is that people try to say,
हाँ,
आज मैंने इतना खा लिया, कल तो मुझे खूब कार्डियो करना पड़ेगा, या कल तो
should
मुझे
be.
एक्स्ट्रा 5 किलोमीटर दौड़ना पड़ेगा, um, which is, I think, a recipe for very binary thinking and very black and white thinking, and it's kind of disastrous at the end of the day, because your eating is not, food is not guilt or shame. खाना खाना या बाहर का खाना खाना पाप नहीं है,
हाँ,
and exercise is not punishment. Exercise is not पश्चाताप, right? तो इन दोनों को अलग रखें. When you're eating, आप ध्यान दें कि why you're eating, and don't convert it into a guilt trip. And after you've eaten, don't start counting, oh God, I've eaten so much. Much rather save that awareness for the before you eat and during eating, rather than, using all of that guilt trip after you've eaten, immediately after you've eaten. So, shift the priorities, and then when you come back the next day, get back into your regular exercise routine. You don't have to make up for or punish yourself for having eaten more. Okay, food is not just nutrients. Food is love, connection, relationships. Everything is expressed through food. So if you've eaten out more, it's okay. It's a part of human life. Breaking bread has been part of our culture for millennia. So आप कुछ गलत नहीं कर रहे हैं अगर आपने कुछ एक्स्ट्रा खा लिया. तो allow yourself that, and अगले दिन नॉर्मल रूटीन पे आ जाए, नॉर्मल खाना खाएं. आपको कोई सूप डाइट या डिटॉक्स या एक्स्ट्रा एक्सरसाइज करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Make it, start looking at all of these things as normal part of life, and then you can sustain it for a long period of
Okay,
time.
so basically, change your mindset. So this is what it is at the end of the day, that we should be away from this guilt trip and punishing ourselves. We just have to condition our mind that there could be some fluctuations, fine. If we stick to these simple tips that you've just shared with us, I'm sure weight gain can easily be tackled. Actually, there'll be no
Yes,
gain.
because Narendra, what happens is that when we are on this guilt, yeah, when we are on this guilt trip, then people are
Yeah.
either doing everything right or nothing right. तो ये हो जाता है, either I'm 100% मैं सब कुछ कर रही हूँ, वर्कआउट भी कर रही हूँ, सूप भी खा रही हूँ, वेजिटेबल्स भी खा रही हूँ, या फिर मैं शादी में भी जा रही हूँ एंड एक्सरसाइज भी नहीं कर रही बिकॉज अब तो कोई फायदा नहीं है. सो ये जो ऑल और नथिंग की थिंकिंग है, ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट, ये दिस इज व्हाट गेट्स अस इनटू ट्रबल. सो देयरफॉर इसको गिल्ट भी ना करें और एक्सरसाइज को पनिशमेंट की तरह भी ना देखें. तो हैव अ नॉर्मल रिलेशनशिप विद बोथ. Enjoy your food, enjoy moving your body, right? And keep both of these separate. None of them is making up for each other. Then you can sustain both of these and have a normal relationship with food and with movement for decades, not just for this year or this party season or this wedding season.
Then very, very interesting. And I think we are almost at the end of our session. Time is up. What I will request our viewers is, if they have any questions, they can leave it in the comments section, and when the video is uploaded on the other media channels, we'll try to take up those questions as well with Jasneet Kaur. So thank you very much, Jasneet, for sparing your time for us, and we'll see you soon again in another beautiful session.
Thank you, Narendra, for having me, and thank you, audience. And if you have questions, like Narendra said, please leave them. We'd love to answer them. But as always, this was I enjoyed having this conversation. So thank you.